Hi everyone, it's Oksana, and today I'm going to make this pendant here for you that I'm just calling it a floating stone pendant just because the stone kind of has that space on top of it, and this works better with a round or an oval shaped stone because if it's a teardrop shaped stone, then unless you have the teardrop point down, if you have it point up, then the point kind of ruins this for you and just fills in that gap. So keep that in mind when choosing a stone, but if you want to see how I made this pendant, then just keep watching. So I'm going to be using the following. I have a small round cabochon. This is a labradorite gemstone, and it is this big. What is that? Like 17 millimeters or a little over half an inch. So right between the half and the 3/4 of an inch. That's how big it is. See that? All right, so yours doesn't have to be by any means exact, shape, size, stone or anything, but I'm just letting you know how much mine is, and this is what happens to nail polish when you wire wrap. So then I'm using some square wire. Mine is from Rio. It's dead soft bare copper. So they used to say square. And it is 20 gauge. This AWG is the gauge. And I'm using 3 pieces of it. And my 3 pieces are about 11 inches. 2 of them are taller, longer, but yours don't need to be. I started cutting them and I was like, oh, I really don't need them to be that long. So about 11 inches for those. And then we're going to use some half round wire. So half round copper, 22 gauge. And I just leave this on the spool. I use it as needed. I don't pre-measure or cut anything. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 3 wires. I'm going to hold them in the middle. And I'm going to wrap this half round wire, the flat side down, the half round side up, around these wires. And it's easier for me to twist the wires as I guide the half round wire into place with my other hand rather than actually wrapping around. So I'm gonna do this, how many wraps do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do, what is it, 6? Let's do 8, 7, and 8, roughly. Then I'm gonna cut so that when I squish down my little ends of this wire, when I bend them down, they both end up on the same side, and that side will be the inside that touches the stone. So they essentially get hidden. Here we go. So they're both in here. This will be the inside. The stone will sit in there, and so the outside is nice and smooth, no little wire ends. You can kind of squish this together a little bit if it's moving apart on you. I'm gonna take my stone, and what you can do is you can do this on a flat surface, like down on a table or something. And you wanna put this, kind of center it, so it's at the very bottom of your stone, and have it go like this right around the edges. And then have these wires go up, and they're gonna meet up wherever, however tall you want it to be. So it's kind of like a floating stone, and there's gonna be a gap above it. And it's up to you how tall you want that gap to be. So then once you have determined that, you can kind of go ahead and bend these a little more so that when they come together, this is your shape here. And if you wanted to, take the frontmost wires and twist them by grabbing right here at the bend, because that's how far you would want the twist to be. And then just twisting. So I'm just holding with my pliers, and I am just actually moved. No, there we go. So it makes it look like this. I don't know if you like that, you can do it, totally up to you. I'm just gonna do it real quick on the other side. So then when you're done, you just wanna put them back how they were. The bend might, you know, it probably would have gone away from when you did the twisting, so just make the bend again. So here we go, just like this. And now I'm gonna take some more of this 22 gauge wire, hold it here, give myself a couple inches. Now the rest of it is still connected to my spool here. So I'm taking this end and I'm doing flat side down, half round side up, and I am just strapping it around like so. And you can even use your pliers if you wanted to tighten that up a bit, if it's not getting tight for you otherwise. There we go. Nice and tight. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm taking this little end, putting it through the center, pulling it tight, and putting it through the center again. And this way the flat side is still down, half round side up. Just like that. Then I'm gonna cut it so that the little end is too short to stick out past these wires. So it's not sticking out all the way here, it just kind of ends right in there, and then just kind of squish that down. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the bail, and so we are gonna take the front 2 wires, so the continuation of this twisted wire that's not twisted but is up top here, you can just kind of take a closer look to make sure you're grabbing the right wires on each side and you're bending them. And then this wire, we're going to continue and we're going to wrap around these 2 wires in the back that are left. And let me see, this got a little twisted here. There we go. You are just going to wrap it around and around and around until it is tall enough to be your bail. And when it is adequately tall, you just are going to trim it. Trim the wire and pinch that little end down so it goes kind of on the back. So this is the front of our pendant. And then you can just go over the whole entire bail and press that half round wire down for a flatter look. And you can try to kind of tighten it up as well. So now we're just going to bend that forward, make a curve, and bend it back like this. And we're going to take these ends here, we're going to bring them through the center. And we're going to almost just kind of wrap them. Let me move these other wires out of the way. Wrap them around your frame, so to speak. Then we're just going to trim them here in the back. And give yourself just a little end. Tuck it away right into the frame here. Both of the ends. Alright, so now the ends are tucked away. Here's what it's looking like from the front. Now if you wanted to go ahead and stick your stone in there right now, you can go ahead and do that. So we're just going to put the stone in. We're going to turn it to the back. We're going to take the backmost wire, lift it up with your nail if you need to kind of separate from the others. We're going to grab it at the bottom here, And we're going to make a little bend. And we're going to do that to the other one as well. So like this, but you want these wires up here to, you don't want them to move. So just, if they move, put them back. You know what I mean? So like this wire doesn't go here through the middle, it just kind of stays on the edge and then it goes onto the stone. So now our stone won't come out the back. And then you can do the same thing here on the front. Or if it's adequate, if your frame is just kind of holding your stone. Like I just kind of moved these wires onto my stone and now my stone won't pop out. But it can kind of go up and down. See that little gap down there? It can go up and down. So we are gonna kind of secure it even more as we continue with this pendant. And then you can kind of also turn your stone however it looks best. If it's something like a labradorite where positioning matters. So then we're gonna take just a set of the 2 side wires here. I'm just going to start on the right side. And I'm going to make a loop. And then I'm going to continue with that loop by making another loop. So it's kind of down and loop and around. And now pressing my thumb down on it so that I can loop in the other direction. I'm sorry you can't see, but if I don't press my thumb down, the wires kind of all get discombobulated. So, looks like this. So that's pretty much down to my stone here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take these wires and I'm gonna move them, bend them to the back like this. And then I'm going to trim them so that I just have little ends like that. And I'm just going to take my pliers and bend those little ends inwards. You can do one at a time or you can kind of try to do both. And I'm going to squish this down, squish this little loop. Essentially that got formed. And you just kind of have to be careful where these little ends end up because you don't want them to be visible from the front. So here's what it looks like from the back and from the front. And now on this left side, I'm just going to take the frontmost wire out of those 2 wires and I'm just going to take it. I'm going to make a bend with it like so. And I'm going to bring it down. And again, around. Trim. And tuck that end inwards and smush it down. Like so, and then you just want to check your stone. My stone is really secure now because these kind of hold it from popping up. And then it's up to you if you want to make some additional swirly thing with this wire, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it short. And then with my round nose pliers, I'm just going to make a loop, just kind of point the end of that wire inwards, like so. So then here is my finished pendant. It kind of looks like the stone is floating and there's this little gap on top of it. So that is it. Here's the back and back to the front. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful and I'll see you next time. Bye.